Hello, I'm so excited to invite you on a journey over the next 40 days. I wrote a book last year called Strangers on the Way, and it's about 40 strangers that I met over the past decade or so, and lessons they taught me about life and about God. And I recently made a revised edition and expanded it into a devotional, a 40-day devotional. And it includes some of the same stories, some new ones, but with expanded reflection time. And I came across this article in the New York Times that talked about the impact that strangers have on our lives. And there was a science writer and a professor of psychology at the University of Texas in Austin, and they wrote a book called Consequential Strangers: The Power of People Who Don't Seem to Matter But Really Do. And in their interviews, in their research, they found that these connections with strangers, which they called weak ties, were actually really powerful because they gave people a feeling that they belonged into a community that was larger than themselves. And I found this too. One of the quotes in my book that I borrowed from another writer was that the daily interaction with a stranger was their favorite part of their day. And I think given the pandemic that we have just walked through, where we've been isolated in our homes and are really learning to come back out into community and really learning to kind of a new way of doing things. Even our work, working from home remotely, has shifted things. I think there's this great opportunity to take risks by meeting people out and about in a way that we aren't getting as often as we used to pre-pandemic. And so I'm really on this quest to eliminate loneliness, to eliminate isolation. And I believe there can be so much happening as we interact with strangers. I just made it a goal this year. Maybe this is something similar, to meet one stranger every time I go to the gym, to meet someone new and to take a risk. It's vulnerable to take a risk. But these authors said that when we step outside of our comfort zones and take a risk, we actually come alive. And so my prayer for you this year is that you would come alive to the people that God places in your path, that those moments of interactions that might even be inconveniences or interruptions, that they would set you on fire in the best way and just set your heart alive. And so I invite you for the next 40 days just to be inspired by these stories of strangers, the impact, the lessons that I've learned from them, and then really onto something where you get to interact with God in the stories during your time with Him, but then in your day to day, going to the gym, going to get gas, going to get groceries, for you to be inspired to meet strangers on your own and just see how they change your life too. And so, I invite you to join me for the next 40 days as we meet some strangers on the way.